we had no power and no water and no cell phone service, and there were trees down, and so it was a dicey time. It was very, very stressful. So one of the really core memories from those immediate days after the hurricane is our team when we all first showed up. Well, actually, let me back up. One of the first core memories is the fear of not hearing from you guys. So anytime I could get a cell phone signal, I was trying to text all of you, everyone on our team, and the fear every time I didn't get return text messages. And so I really won't forget every time. I remember vividly each one of you that I saw for the first time, everyone on our team. And so just the relief that washed over me, I cried many, many tears every time I saw you all. And then when we were all together and we were, this team at ABCCM was so resilient. We just all showed up because I think none of us knew what else to do. And so we got here and we're like, well, we're the crisis ministry, so we're going to be here for our community that's very much in crisis right now. And so we didn't know what that looked like necessarily, but every one of us showed up ready to serve our community, and I won't forget those immediate days. So ABCCM's response to the hurricane in those immediate days is one of the things that I'm proudest of. Personally, professionally, it was just such a collaborative effort. So we all showed up, all of the program directors showed up here because at this location because we had power and water here. So we were nailing it. We didn't have internet at first, so we had to work on some internet, but we all showed up and we're all developing plans for how the 7 ministries were gonna continue services, while all, like our normal services, while also, serving the community at large. ABCCM in the Veteran Services of the Carolina Ministry is in all 100 counties, and so folks from that ministry, veterans from across this state, showed up, and they brought us food and gasoline, because remember there was no gas for a minute. That was, oh my gosh, gasoline and water and supplies and prayers and love, and helped us. They were like, okay, we're here to serve. What do we need to do? And so everybody got together, and there was chaos, but there was agreement in what we were going to do, and that we were never going to not serve people. From the minute after the hurricane, we were open. On Monday morning, I mean, the waters had still not even receded. All the roads were still not open. No one had power or water or internet or phone or anything that they needed personally, and everyone showed up. And there was not even a discussion about it. Everyone just showed up, and we figured it out, and we waded through the chaos, and we the downed trees and the water and the mud, and because we were just here to serve. ABCCM's partnership with Acts of Mercy was truly a godsend for food distribution. So they showed up, and we have a program where we deliver healthy food boxes to, at the time it was about 600 or 700 families a week. And those families depend on those boxes as part of their regular food resources. It's in their budget to get those groceries. And so at no other time in their lives was it more important. There were no grocery stores open. Roads were washed out. It was truly a disaster, unlike anything we had ever seen before. And Acts of Mercy showed up, and they helped us continue to serve those families. And not only those families, they loaded their cars with extra food and water and supplies so that they could serve others that they would encounter along the ways. My favorite story from the days after the hurricane, but also from like our partnership with Acts of Mercy, was there was a group of folks from Acts of Mercy who had loaded up and had gone out to one of the most hard-hit areas after the hurricane, and found like a little neighborhood of folks that had been cut off completely from the outside. Their roads had been washed out, they had no power, they had sustained some real property damage, and they couldn't walk far enough to the nearest supply distribution. I don't even know how Acts of Mercy was able to find them. And not only did they give them the food that they needed to nourish their bodies, but they prayed with them. And one man, I don't want to misquote him, but he had said that he had not prayed or read his Bible in a while, and the Acts of Mercy team was able to pray with him and talk to him about Jesus, and really re-energize his faith walk. And so that, through all of the bad, this man, and if his life is impacted by this, his family's life is impacted by this, and look what happened. You took food, but it was such a lifeline. Yeah, so some of the ongoing challenges is, there are many. So the crisis ministry at ABCCM has existed for almost 56 years, serving folks with feeding our neighbors and clothing our neighbors and helping with rental and utility assistance. And these needs are still here. They're even more prevalent than they were on September 26th, the day before the storm, because there's so many families. I just talked to a man on the phone last week who he and his wife never needed assistance before. They're in their mid-50s, they've worked their whole lives. Their house was really, really damaged by the storm. And so they had to take the time to go through the processes of all the paperwork with insurance and FEMA and all the things, and working themselves to get the house back in order. And they were out of work for a couple of months doing this, and then they go to return to work and they were laid off. And so now they find themselves behind on bills and very food insecure. And so this is one story, but it's across our whole community. The needs of your basic needs are still there that we have been working to serve for decades, but now it's so many more people. It's so amplified. So many things have brought hope in the midst of the recovery process. Acts of Mercy, truly, I talk about that story all the time. Going out and saying, I want to go to the hardest hit places. I want to make sure those people are okay. And not just taking them food, but taking them hope in Jesus. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is more important than that. Meeting people's basic needs and pointing them to Jesus. And so being at ABCCM every day, this wonderful Christian ministry, and being able to partner with folks like Acts of Mercy, where we get to do it in His name, and everybody that we meet, we get to pray with and encourage in that way, that brings me hope every single day. I try so hard not to reflect. We still got to push it down and keep going. No, I just would love to thank Acts of Mercy. I think that Acts of Mercy showed up within the first week. It was immediate, almost immediate after the hurricane, that Acts of Mercy showed up and just said, what can we do? What do you need? And we needed help with food distribution, and they showed up as such a steady and calm and reliable, present partner in a time where that's what we needed. There was plenty of chaos to find. You didn't have to look very far to find chaos or destruction, and they showed up, and every person on their team was just so steady and calm and full of Jesus, and sharing that with not only us here at ABCCM, but with our community members, our neighbors that we serve every day. And so I just want to thank you all for that.